personally, I don't care about what skills you put on your resume. Like, we've seen a lot of resumes where like you have that big like block of like skills, like, oh, I can do Jira and I can use Confluence. Like, I don't care. Like, I truly don't care. The thing that matters to me the most is if I look at every single role that you've been in, it's kind of the, okay, who hired you and why? Originally, say previous role, like on mine, I was like, I was hired by the CEO and the board of directors to oversee product management and development for a mid-stage startup that does XYZ. So like, tell me your story. You're supposed to be a product manager. Product manager should be able to tell stories, but they also should be able to back those stories up with data. So it's like, tell me those things. Like, I'm if you don't have like, this is what I did and this was the outcome. Like, I joined and after 8 months, we released a new feature that increased revenue by 17%. I like that. That tells me you did things that had an outcome. And even, it doesn't have to be I mean, I hope it's a positive one. It would be kind of bad if it was the like, we released the product and we lost half of our users. Be like, oh, okay. Well, that I will talk to you because I want to hear that story. Like, what did you do? But that's it. It's like, I look at resumes, like it tells me a narrative of like what you've done. And even early stage, like I've looked at resumes for very junior product people who have started off as like, well, I was an intern here, or I was an engineer for X amount of time. Or I was a product owner for like 6 months, getting my toes wet in product management and everything. But again, it's like, just tell me the story. Like, tell me what you did and what were the results. Because that's what I'm looking for, because the people who look at me, or that's what they're looking for. It's the, what did you do and what was the outcome? And there you go. It is very formulaic, but it makes it really, really easy, because I know this is going to be, I appreciate like a very recruiter HR thing. Like, I'm looking at your resume for like 15 seconds. I'm scanning it. I'm taking a look at it going like, do I want to talk to this person? And it's like, oh, cool. This. Awesome. I also don't care what company you've worked for. Like, I don't. In fact, there are some times where, depending on which company you worked for, actually might be a detriment to depending on where I am. Like, if I'm early stage, or if, depending on the organization, and this is some free advice I received from people long time ago, is if you've worked for we'll just call one of those big ones here in Silicon Valley, I'll let y'all imagine which ones. Like, you take a look at it and it's like, wow, that looks amazing on a resume. They were there for 2.5 years and da-da-da. But now they want to go to, like, say, a smaller organization, maybe an early mid-stage startup, because they want more ownership and more everything like that. Honestly, like, that can, I'm not saying it is, but it can be a little bit of a like, are you sure you want to do this? Because you're coming from an area that has so much structure and so much, like, it's a different world. It is a completely different world. You're going to go from, you have an entire support network of hundreds of people, and you're doing one little thing that is your responsibility. And now you kind of want to jump in and do something broader. Are you going to be comfortable with this? Like, I personally think one of the biggest gotcha questions that makes no sense to me is like, if someone asks, well, are you going to be okay with ambiguity? And it's like, well, what do you mean by that? Like, am I going to walk in and be like, I was the product manager yesterday, but then tomorrow I'm now what? Like, what am I doing? Like, what do you mean by that? And they're like, but there are some people that can't adjust that. Like, if they've been in those areas. So that's why I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care where it's like, I don't care what you are. I care who you are. That's what I care about.